The women went very early in the morning to the tomb of Jesus. It was probably very dark when they were on their way. The sun had not yet risen. It was rising when they got to the tomb. And much to their amazement, they saw that the stone was rolled away and the body of Jesus was missing. They had been in total darkness of spirit ever since Good Friday. Mary Magdalene herself had been in great darkness for a long time until she met Christ one day, and he turned her whole life to light and goodness. And now she was especially grieving. But they see the angel says, he's not here, he's risen. They were so amazed, they still didn't get it. But they ran to tell Peter and the other disciples. And then he says, tell them that he's going to Galilee before you, and they will see him there. Amazing. He rose from the dead. Whoever would have thought? It looked like the end of Christianity. The worst day for the church was Good Friday in its history, when Jesus died on the cross. It all seemed lost. But God in his goodness raises Jesus from the dead, and he returns to life. Can you imagine how they felt? They saw his body being taken down from the cross, terribly tortured, and now today they see him in his glory. I've noticed that in the pictures of Jesus after he rose from the dead, it still always shows the imprints of the nails in his hands and in his side and in his feet. I think that reminds us that the church is Christ, and the church is going to have her wounds and her problems through her history. We know that we have. There have been many who have tried to destroy the church. There are many who would be happy to see it in the death notices today. There would be many who would like to see for sale signs in the front of all Catholic churches. But what's happening tonight? Throughout the entire world, thousands of men and women are becoming Catholic at this very vigil service. They're entering the church, thousands. And we look at the 2.5 billion, 2 billion Christians throughout the world today. The church is very much alive, very much alive. And we can believe that Jesus rose from the dead, and he said the gates of hell will not prevail against it, and they will not. Sometimes we can get discouraged, and we can look around and we can see all the negative things happening within the church. But we need to look beyond that and look at all the things that are good and all the things that are happening. Even out of bad things, good has arisen. That's the way God works. And so tonight, we're just so overjoyed at the reality of the resurrection of Jesus from the dead. It's marvelous. And as the reading from St. Paul said, in baptism, we died with Christ and rose with him to new life. And if we are buried with him in the waters of baptism, we will rise with him to eternal life. We have so much reason to hope, so much reason to hope. All of our loved ones who have gone before us in death are now in the presence of the risen Jesus in eternity. And in faith, we know we will see them again one day. All that we need to do is be faithful on our journey to that point of our death when we will enter eternal life with Christ. So it's a day of indescribable joy that Jesus Christ rose from the dead, overcame sin, overcame death, and rose from the dead. And the amazing thing is that he did it for each and every one of us. He's not forgotten any one of us. And so with those things in mind, we celebrate Easter joy. We celebrate Easter joy, that the Lord is with us and will be with us now and until the end of the world. In a moment, we will bless the water and renew our baptismal promises. We'll recall the day when we became sons and daughters of God in the waters of baptism. And that we received a candle from our godparents saying, receive the light of Christ. Keep the flame of faith alive in your hearts until the Lord comes, so that you may meet him in the kingdom of heaven. We need to keep the flame of faith alive in our hearts. and it'll keep burning, and it'll shine forth for all we meet. So people will know we are Christians by our love, by our embracing the church, and by our following Jesus.